It's one of the most frustrating feelings in training. You can train consistently for months, push through hard sessions, track your workouts, and still, the moment you put on a t-shirt, it looks like none of it mattered. The definition disappears. The veins vanish. All the effort feels invisible. That's because once a shirt is on, nobody sees muscle detail. They don't see striations, separation, or how lean you are. They see your outline, your silhouette. Strength, to the outside world, is judged by how much space you occupy inside your clothes. If you don't fill the frame, you don't look strong, regardless of how capable you actually are. This is the part most people misunderstand. Looking athletic and looking jacked are not always the same thing. The difference often has less to do with how much muscle you own and more to do with where blood, fluid, and tension are concentrated in the body at that moment. That temporary increase in muscle size is called transient hypertrophy. Most people just call it the pump. But a pump by itself isn't useful if it's random. Doing a few push-ups until your arms feel tired doesn't meaningfully change how you look in a shirt. To alter your silhouette, you need intention. The goal here is not fatigue. The goal is shape. We're going to intentionally trap blood in the muscles that create width and thickness, the muscles that press outward against fabric. When those muscles fill with blood, they inflate like balloons under the sleeves and chest of your shirt. This isn't about long-term growth. This is about short-term visual impact. You don't need months of bulking to do this. You don't need a gym. You don't even need heavy resistance. You need about 15 focus minutes and the right sequence. This protocol works by combining two mechanisms, mechanical tension and hydration physics. Mechanical tension tells the muscle to contract hard and demand blood. Hydration physics determines whether that blood and fluid stays inside the muscle long enough to matter. Most people only address the first part, which is why their pump fades almost immediately. This system has 5 steps. The first 4 steps build the visual structure, the muscles that shape your upper body outline. The 5th step acts as a biological lock. Without it, the size drains away quickly. We start with the shoulders, because shoulders define the entire upper body frame. Most bodyweight exercises emphasize pushing forward or downward. Push-ups, dips, and similar movements heavily bias the front delts. That creates thickness from the side, but it does very little for width when viewed from the front. A wide appearance comes from the lateral delts, the side heads of the shoulders. The problem is gravity. Gravity pulls straight down, which makes the lateral delts difficult to load with standard bodyweight movements. To solve this, we manipulate leverage. High side plank raises target this perfectly. Set up in a side plank on your hand, not your elbow. Keep the arm completely straight. This long lever dramatically increases the torque at the shoulder joint. Lower your hips toward the floor under control, then drive them upward. The key is intent. Don't just lift your hips using your core. Actively push the floor away with your palm, as if you're trying to shove the ground down and away from you. This mental cue forces the lateral delt to become the prime mover. Perform 10 controlled reps per side. Because the arm stays locked, tension never leaves the shoulder. By the final reps, the side delts should feel full, hot, and extremely fatigued. This immediately widens your upper body frame. Next, we move to the chest. Standard push-ups mainly load the mid and lower portions of the chest. That adds mass, but it can create a drooping look if the upper chest is underdeveloped. When the upper chest is flat, the shirt hangs straight down from the collarbone, hiding everything underneath. To change how the shirt sits, you need upper chest thickness. This creates a shelf that pushes fabric outward near the neckline. Tempo inclined push-ups solve this. Elevate your hands on a bench, couch, or sturdy surface. This slight incline aligns the pushing angle with the fibers of the upper chest. But the angle alone isn't enough. Time under tension is what makes the difference. Lower yourself slowly for a full 3 seconds. Pause briefly at the bottom, where the chest is maximally stretched. Then press up under control. Do not lock your elbows at the top. Locking out shifts tension away from the chest and allows blood to escape. Perform 2 sets of 12 slow reps. This sustained tension forces blood into the upper chest and keeps it there, lifting the entire front profile of your shirt. Now we address the arms, specifically the triceps. Most people fixate on biceps, but biceps do very little for sleeve fill. The triceps make up the majority of upper arm mass. Within the triceps, the long head is the most visually important. It sits along the inside of the arm and adds thickness that pushes the arms away from the torso. When this muscle pumps up, your arms naturally flare outward, making your upper body look wider without any flexing. Bodyweight skull crushers are ideal here. Place your hands on a low surface and walk your feet back. Instead of lowering your chest like a push-up, bend your elbows and bring your head forward and down between your hands. This overhead position deeply stretches the long head of the triceps. You should feel tension running from the elbow into the armpit area. Press back up using only your triceps, keeping your elbows relatively fixed. Perform 2 sets close to failure. As blood fills the long head, the arms appear thicker and more separated from the torso. Finally, we finish with the forearms. Forearms are built for endurance, which means they resist fatigue and take longer to swell. To get a fast visual effect, we use occlusion, sustained contraction, that restricts blood flow out of the muscle. Fingertip planks do exactly that. Assume a push-up position, but rise onto your fingertips. Actively grip the floor as hard as possible. Imagine trying to crush something beneath your fingers. This crushing intent spikes forearm tension instantly. Maintain full body tightness. Squeeze your glutes, brace your core, and keep breathing steady. Hold until your grip fails. When you release, blood rushes into the forearms faster than it can escape, increasing size and visibility almost immediately. At this point, the visual structure is built. The muscles that define your silhouette are full. But without the right internal conditions, the pump fades quickly. The body tightly regulates fluid balance. If glycogen levels are low or hydration is poor, the pump drains away within minutes. To hold it longer, fluid needs to be pulled into the muscle cells themselves. Sodium increases osmotic pressure, and carbohydrates replenish glycogen, which binds water inside muscle tissue. When timed correctly before training, this combination encourages fluid to move into the muscle rather than sitting under the skin. The result is a fuller, denser look that lasts longer than a normal pump. This effect is temporary. Biology always seeks balance. Within a couple of hours, fluid levels normalize and the pump fades. This is not permanent growth. It's a short-term visual enhancement. Use this protocol to boost confidence, to see what your frame is capable of, or to improve how you look in photos or clothing for a short window. But don't confuse a pump with progress. Real size comes from building muscle tissue over time through consistent training and recovery. Temporary size can show you the potential. Permanent size comes from earning it.